let's talk about the full moon in Scorpio. This one is an interesting one. There's a lot of stuff going on, and if you remember from the horoscopes, if you've seen them videos for your sign, it was one of the ones that I kind of think this is the turning point for a lot of the better things that are coming our way. I think it's like the turning point of where we're starting to move forward. There's going to be some signs of breakthroughs and stuff like that with this full moon. But let's break it down for you so you have an idea of what's actually going on and so you can actually use this energy instead of letting it use you. So basically, to kick it off, it's happening on the 12th of May. The full moon in Scorpio will be at 22 degrees Scorpio. Now, what that means is that's in the third decan of Scorpio, which is represented by the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups in Tarot is all about having all these choices and not really knowing which ones. It's kind of like you're second guessing yourself. It's getting a little bit overwhelming. There's it could even be a little bit of deception or self-deception because you've got all these choices to make. But then on the other hand, in the Taurus side of this full moon, you have the third decan is ruled by, the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of like you feel like you're failing at something or you're not where you want to be. So there's a lot of feelings around this full moon of you're just not there yet. But that doesn't mean physically or in reality you're not there yet. It just means there's that kind of a lackluster kind of mood around this full moon. Now, if you have got any natal planets with a fixed sign at 22 degrees or around there, I'll maybe give it a couple of degrees either side of that. But if you've got any planets in a fixed sign, so that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, you're going to feel this full moon, yeah? You'll probably feel it more. Now, looking at the rest of the sky, the same day of the full moon, Mercury is going to make a square to, where's it making a square to? Pluto. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius from Taurus. So he's in Taurus, making a square. Squares of tension. They're creating a little bit of tension. Now, with Mercury as the planet of communication, that's information. Mercury's the messenger. So with that being a square and that tension and not so great with Pluto. Now, where's Pluto? Pluto's in Aquarius, and Pluto's all about breaking down the structures to rebuild the new. It can show us where your deepest emotional fears are, because usually fear, you can transmute that into transformation and have your breakthrough with that, yeah? So it's kind of that death and rebirth sort of cycle. Your deepest fears are here, can be power struggles, and it is the modern ruler of Scorpio as well. Yeah, so that makes me think that you're maybe in a situation just now that you're maybe starting to, you could either be in the phase where you want to break things down or you're wanting to rebuild, or maybe you're just looking back at times where you've been through a situation because it is retrograde. Pluto is retrograde, but the information that you're getting or the communication that you're having with something about the past is maybe not what you want to hear, or maybe not what you want to learn. That's what I get with this Mercury square. So that is going on around the full moon. The sun is also nearly in a conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is in that last decan of Taurus as well. It's getting ready to leave Taurus. On July, it'll move into Gemini. So it's wanting to tie up its story. The sun is getting close to it. It's not an exact conjunction at the time of the full moon, but it is getting there. It is getting there, and you will most certainly feel it. Yeah, because Uranus is intense. And that planet is more about sudden change, unpredictable. It's very, very hard to say what Uranus is going to do because it is so unpredictable. It can be chaotic, it can be shocking, it can be surprising, but it can also bring you your biggest breakthrough. So as much as there's a lot of stuff negative and not so great with Uranus, there's also a lot of stuff that are more positive with Uranus as well. So like it can really, really help. I don't really think that this is going to have, I don't really think the clarity is going to be there around the full moon. What I think will happen is I think when we get the signs and the signals of what's going on with the Mercury squares, with the full moon, with getting close to Uranus starting to see that we need change. But I don't think we'll know what that change is, because then Mercury is going to make a conjunction later in the month to Uranus, and he's on his way to Gemini. And I think it's when Mercury and the Sun are conjunct in a Cazimi is when we'll get the clarity of everything that's been going on. Yeah. If you look at the rest of the sky around the time of the full moon, then you've got the Sun, you've got Saturn with the North Node in Pisces. Saturn is near enough the Analytic degree, which is 29 degrees, about to move into Aries, which happens at the end of this month, which I will have another video out coming out about that. But so he's wanting to tie up his Pisces story. He's there wanting to tie up his Pisces story. You get Venus in A, which if you're not sure, like what that's all about, Saturn is all about responsibility. It's like a little bit of a reality check. Have you got enough boundaries? Are you doing the work? Are you being disciplined? It's very practical, yeah? And it's, again, want to make sure there's structures and systems and boundaries and all that in place in that area in your life. So wherever Pisces is, that's what he's been for the last 3 years. Like, have you felt restrictions? Have you felt limitations? Have you felt boundaries? Well, he's been there. So yeah, so that's Saturn. He's got this. And then Venus and Neptune, that's like kind of that going fearless after the things you desire. That's because that's in Aries. So the Aries story of in your life is like got Venus and Neptune. So that's kind of going on as well, where we're wanting to go for more of what we desire and go after those big dreams. Now, with the full moon and the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles being the cards that represent that, feeling like failure, feeling like you're just got all these choices to make and not knowing really which direction to go in, illusion, confusion, feeling like you're failing or you're not where you want to be. That kind of makes me feel like with the Venus stuff that there could be that element of you've kind of went head first in for the stuff that you think you want, not the things you really want. Yeah. And that's maybe just to tie up that part of your chart as well while we're talking about this. But anyway, back to the full moon. I just wanted to give you a little bit of what was going on and with other things before I go deep into this full moon, because I kind of feel like this full moon is kind of like, oh, we really don't need this right now. Like, we've got all this other stuff that's happening. We really don't need this. That's the kind of vibe I get with this, but you're going to get it anyway. So the full moon. So the moon is going to be at 22 degrees Scorpio. The sun is in Taurus at 22 degrees. Yeah. At the time of this full moon. And what are full moons? Well, full moon is an opposition with the sun. When what's happening here is the sun is shining a spotlight onto the moon. So the sun in Taurus is wanting comfort, is wanting stability, is wanting to feel nice and pleasurable and give me a blanket, I want to chill. And then on the other hand, Scorpio the moon is in Scorpio. This is your emotional landscape, your inner world. When it's in Scorpio, so we're getting to the darkest depths of the emotions, the darkest and depths of you, making sure you're doing that shadow work. Yeah? They're both fixed signs. They can both be quite stubborn. What to watch out for when it comes to your emotional landscape is jealousy, control, power struggles, possessiveness, manipulation, that sort of a thing, resentment. These are all emotions that could come from this full moon. And I think with the Pluto square, and then Mercury's also going to square Mars after the full moon, before the sun goes conjunct with Uranus. It's either before or after, don't quote me on that. But like once that happens, there's two squares there. That's telling me there's something not good here. There's some sort of attention coming from these areas in your life. And then with the full moon in Scorpio, then you could have feelings of resentment, jealousy, manipulation, control, power struggles, power dynamics. Then that kind of would suggest that there could be some turbulence around this time. So watch out for that. But like I said, with Uranus there is a chance of breakthroughs. So if you are feeling these feelings, it's about getting to the bottom of them. And I think one question to ask around this is, where in my life am I choosing comfort and stability out of convenience? Yeah? If that's in your business, is that an offer you've been running for so long? It's not the greatest offer, but it works. If that's in your life, if you've been maybe in a relationship for so long, and you're now just at the stage, there's not really, a love's not there anymore, but you're just staying there because it's convenient. It's comfortable. Yeah? These are things to think around about this time, because this is what could spur these emotions of resentment, jealousy, trying to control it to keep it stable, because without it might be scarier. These sort of things might be popping up around the full moon, so that is definitely something to watch out for around this time. These signs are both fixed signs. Fixed signs are known for being the most stubborn. They don't like to change. Yeah? Taurus, on one hand, is like stubborn, and they don't like to change from comfort, stability, groundedness, things that are practical. They don't really like anything outside of that. And they will stay in places longer than they need to, because it's comfortable. Yeah? On the other hand, Scorpio, they're really, really fixed with their emotions. And they want to feel secure and safe. And they are really, really stubborn if it's going to affect their safety and security. So if you are holding on to that relationship because you're like, this is going to be, my finances are going to be like scary, that doesn't make me feel safe. My inner security doesn't feel safe to be single again. Or if you're putting content out, I don't feel safe to be seen around this time. These sort of things could become that, and it can make you want to manipulate things so that you are like, you feel that little bit safe. You've got that little bit of comfort. You've got that stability. So that's, just watch out for these things during the full moon. If you are sitting there and you're like, I'm feeling a wee bit chaotic right now, I'm feeling like this is speaking to me, like this is affecting me, or you want to maybe take a deeper look into your chart, then you go down into the description and book a reading with me, and we can work through your chart together. And you can give you the next steps to take away from you. You'll get a recording, you will get a summary of what we spoke about as well, and all your natal placements. So if that sounds good, go down into the description and you can get that, put that in. And I think we'll just go on to the 12 sign readings. Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. So for us, the moon is in your 8th house. 8th house, and the sun is in your 2nd house. So the 8th house is all about that transformation, your personal power. Yeah. It's where you share your resources with other people. It could be deeper relationships with intimacy. It could be that more generational wealth, like that from your investments. Now with the moon in Scorpio, there is asking you to let go of patterns where you're maybe holding on too tightly here, where you're maybe holding on to these things, maybe wounds or maybe fears or maybe things that are stopping you reach your full potential in this area. And yes, it does mean that maybe in this time that you see patterns in a relationship that's from a fear that you've had maybe from childhood or from school or from something like that has led you to have this wound that affects how you maybe hold on a little bit too tightly in your relationships, or hold on too tightly if you get things around money. If you've got debt this time, then that could be like challenging your security, and the sun is letting you see that around this time. And you're going to have this push-pull because the sun is in Taurus, which is in your 2nd house, which is all about your daily finances, your material wealth, your possessions, your self-worth, your values. Yeah? It's asking you to take control there. Because that's where the comfort, that's where it wants to be comfort, that's where the stability and all that stuff can come from. When you've got stability in your daily finances, you don't need to rely on it from other people. When you have that strong sense of self-worth, then you don't have to rely on a relationship to give you that stuff. When you're comfortable and stable and you've got all the things you need around you, you feel so abundant. Then you don't have to rely on other people's money and other people's possessions. And around this time, once you start to realize what you've got, and you don't need to seek it from other people and other people's money and all that stuff, that can lead to bigger transformation. And then this might mean that you have to deal with some of the fears and the wounds in this area. that are making you cling to other people or cling to your finances or cling to them shared resources. But that's you giving away your power. When you can take that back by dealing with the wounds that you have and seeing the things that you've got already that the sun is lighting up for you, Aries, so you can build more power in that area. You might around this time feel jealous, you might feel resentment, you might feel controlling and manipulating. But look at these, and where are these coming from? It's time to let go of these patterns. It's time to let go of that and see what you've already got. One thing you've got to be aware of is as well that Uranus is in the mix here, and it is in your second house as well. That could be, you might see shocks, you might see surprises, you might see all this stuff in your daily finances and stuff like that, or your material wealth, your possessions, and all these things. But they can also mean that there's a chance for breakthroughs. But that's only going to come if you can deal with the wounds and the fears of putting too much reliance on other people or outside factors to get that sense of self-worth, to get that comfort and stability. Yeah, so with Uranus in the mix, that kind of brings, there's a chance for breakthroughs, but there's also it's going to show you what needs to change. Remember, the sun is going to conjunct Uranus, so that means it's going to show you what needs to be changed. And you're going to get that stronger. Oh, that needs to change, so that we can then get more deeper security and get more internal security from ourselves rather than seeking it from other people. Okay, Aries, let's see what the cards say for you. So Aries, to kick us off, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. This is all about reaping what you sow. Yeah? The work that you've done. You're starting to see the benefits of it. Have you already started dealing with some of these gears? And maybe there's just a few more left. Yeah, where you don't need to rely on other people as much. Yeah? That could be a thing. Remember, you're bold, you're independent, you're all these things, you're the I am. But if you're putting too much reliance on other people and not seeing that, then when you do the work, that's when you start to harvest. Yeah? That's when you start to reap the benefits of that. Lean into your own wisdom here. Yeah? There could be some beliefs here that need to be shifted. They may be rooted in tradition here, traditional beliefs that you've got of what you should be able to get from other people and what you shouldn't be able to get from other people. You may have beliefs there that are holding you to these patterns, and it's maybe time to let go of them. It's maybe time to see things from a different perspective and get some vigor, get some clearer wisdom, where you can sort of build more inner security rather than seeking it from other people. With this card, the Hierophant coming up, this is your wisdom. This could be also a mentor, a leader, a coach, or something like that that's giving you the wisdom. I think it's seeing the wisdom and changing some of your beliefs that maybe came from traditional patterns here, Aries. I think whatever this moon is doing for you, there is something new coming in. There's some sort of new clarity. There's a new idea. There's a new belief or something coming in that is going to change things for you, Aries. Yeah? Like we said, with Uranus in the mix, it has a chance for breakthroughs. You could have your breakthrough here with the Ace of Swords. Yeah, that's a new beginning. It's the start of something new here, Aries. Hello, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. So for you, the moon is in your 7th house and the sun is in your 1st house. The sun is lighting up you at this time. It's lighting up your personality, your body, and how you put yourself out there into the world. It's asking you to stand for you. It's not asking you to lean into your relationships at this time and try and get everything that you need from there. This is asking you to be self-sufficient. With the moon in the 7th house here, it's asking you to let go of any sort of controlling or manipulating relationships to get that inner security. And this could be any kind of relationship. It could be a one-to-one love relationship, one-to-one relationship with clients, a one-to-one relationship with friends, and all these things, but it's in your relationships. Yeah? Where you may be feeling that resentment in relationships, where you may be feeling like you have to control things, where you have to feel like you're manipulating things to try and get security, inner security. And then to get to the truth of the matter, you might see the truth around this time. Things that were hidden, things that you couldn't see are now coming to light, Taurus, in your relationships. And this might not just be from you. You're being asked to put you first in this circumstance by the sun. So is it somebody else in that relationship that is controlling and you're molding yourself to keep the peace? What does that look like for you, Taurus? Or are you the one doing the controlling in your relationships to try and keep that comfort and stability within? Whereas the sun is asking you to build that yourself. To know that you're already whole without a relationship or without that one-to-one partnership. You don't need to get that security, that security from that relationship. And I think it's about, with this, is about finding the balance between giving yourself the time and the attention and also like balancing out the relationships. And know that you might have to let go of people that when you do put yourself first and you learn who you really are and you step into that authentic expression where you get that comfort, stability from within, then that might show the problems. It might show where you have been controlling and where you have been or manipulating, or vice versa, where you've been controlled and manipulated to keep the peace. You would see these things come into light, Taurus. Now, there is Uranus is in your first house here. So that, I'm sure if you look back over the last 7 years, Taurus, the person you were 7 years ago is a totally different person now. And that's what Uranus has been doing throughout his journey through your first house. He's about to move into Gemini now. And for you, there could be some more changes. There could be some things that maybe wounds that you've had around early education, around school, around siblings. These things could start to crop up around this time if that's what's causing these problems with relationships. But for you, Taurus, it's all about finding that balance between you, your physical body, your identity, the way you project yourself to the world, is making sure that that's authentic and making sure that you're speaking your truth, yeah? And not going over to the relationship and control and manipulating it and molding it or molding yourself to fit that relationship to keep that security. Okay, Taurus, let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, Taurus, we are starting off with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is sitting there in her throne. She's got her people and she's not rushing for anything, but she knows exactly what she needs to know. She stands strong in her beliefs. She stands strong with the clarity and knowing. Yeah? With that coming up, has that maybe been you in the past? And this is reminding you of the person you were? With the sun being there highlighting your identity and stuff like that. Is this it saying like, look, you're already that person? Yeah? I think is there maybe something you're looking for justice from? Yeah? Is there something in relationships just now where there's that imbalance? Yeah? Where there's that injustice? Is this maybe from a wound in the past that is making you feel like this is out of balance, that there's no fairness here, that things aren't the way you wish? Now, the next card comes up telling more of this story because you feel like there's a lack of something. You've not got all the resources. Yeah? Are you maybe holding on to this relationship because of material security? Yeah? You don't want to, the finances maybe a little bit. There could be other things. That could be more like, we own the house together, that sort of a thing. I don't know. Or is this in a work relationship where you're like, oh, well, maybe it's your boss and you're like, I can't work here anymore, but I don't have the money or the finances or whatever to do what I need to do to put you first in that relationship. And if I do put you first, I could potentially lose the job. What could be things like that cropping up around this time. But you need to get the balance here, yeah, between yourself and your relationships, whatever kind of relationship these are. But it's not always love, it's not always work, it's any kind of relationship. you need to remember, you know what you're doing. Yeah? You are that person who's clear, she doesn't second guess herself. She knows. You know what needs to be done. Yeah? And the feeling like you've not got all the resources, you've got everything that you need inside you. Once you start to look, yeah? Yeah, you might need to get a new job, or you might need to get some more money and that sort of stuff. You start to prepare for it, so you know that you are secure. If that's what you need to let go of, if you need to let go of a relationship around this time. Whatever that finance, whatever, it's not even just finances, it's just material. You feel like you've not got all the resources. You can start to cultivate that, yeah? Because you're strong enough. She's strong. She's there for everybody and her people. She knows what needs to be done, and she does it. The queens are more receptive, yeah? It's not about going into hustle mode with this one, yeah? Not that the king's very different, but with this, it's not about going into hustle mode. It's about being open to new opportunities coming your way. She's open. Then she'll make the decision when they come her way. She knows what she needs to do. But there needs to be balance, Taurus. There needs to be balance with whatever relationships you've got going on in your life right now. And that's maybe where you need to look. Is there balance in this relationship? Or am I using this relationship for that emotional security? Or to try and get security? But really, you need to stand in your own power here. It's not always about losing that relationship either. Like, maybe it's a belief or something that you need to, you're coming in with this belief that's dead strong, but it's maybe not the fairest. It's not serving you well. And it's making you feel like this. Whereas when you change that belief, maybe it came from a wound around childhood, school, early education, a sibling, a little bit of extended family there as well. There could be some wounds around that there that are leading you to have beliefs in the way that you do things that are leading to this imbalance. And it's leading you feeling like you don't have all the resources. But you do. Yeah? You do have to see that you have got all that inside you already, Taurus. I'll grab you a little bit of clarity on that 5. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. With that, again, with this Taurus, it's time to let go of something. But I think it could be more the belief you have to let go of here. The thoughts and the things that have been built through your experiences. With the Knight of Cups, it's not about rushing, it's about slow, steady movement forward, being compassionate, leading with love, instead of trying to control and manipulate things, and manipulate things if there's power struggles coming up in that right now. Stand in your own power. Stand in your own power, Taurus. Your relationships, they don't give you power, they don't take away your power. You've got your own power, then you don't need to seek it from relationships. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is your Scorpio full moon reading. And for you, the moon is in your 6th house. This is your daily routines, your rituals, your habits, how you serve the world through work. Yeah? Your health even, and your pets, they come in here too. So the moon is asking you what you need to let go of here. Is there something here that's causing you to feel resentment? Is there stuff here that you're trying to control too much, where there's a little bit of a imbalance with power? Yeah, where you're putting too much emphasis on work, maybe, for example, rather than what the sun is asking for. And the sun is in your 12th house. It's looking for inner comfort, stability here. The 12th house is, for me, it's one of the hardest ones because it's the stuff you don't see. It's the stuff that's away deep, deep, deep down. It's your connection to something greater than this. Can also signify endings. It's where you want to go when you want to go in for solitude. Yeah? So it's all the things that are hidden from this physical reality. But I think with the sun asking you to go there and and spend time on your own, doing the work, doing the inner work. Watch out for type of like self-sabotage you as well, Gemini. But when the sun's asking you to go to this place, and stand up for, like, maybe it's about looking into new spiritual beliefs. Maybe it's around your self-worth. Maybe it's about building your own self-worth here. Maybe you don't need to get that from your daily work and your routines anymore. Maybe you've been placing too much emphasis here. You're trying to control your work. And instead of building, or you're trying to get validation from work, instead of seeing that you've already got all the validation you need inside. And it's creating these feelings because you're doing everything for work, you're doing everything for your health, you're doing everything for this to try and get that self-worth. When you're already enough. Yeah? You don't need to get that external validation from work or whatever it is. And just watch out for maybe like health here. Yeah? Because like if you feel like you can maybe like see things from health coming up here, Gemini. So just watch out around this time, maybe mental health. If you're starting to feel these feelings of resentment, anxiety, any sort of negative things maybe that would lead to your inner security. Yeah, these could crop up around this time. Same with pets as well. And that now Uranus is in the mix. It's in your 12th house as well. And it's wanting to make changes. It's wanting to let you have that breakthrough in that area. And I think you need to make time for yourself here, Gemini. I think that's what the message is at large. I think it's about putting you first and not other people. And not work and not all the other things. Putting you first, looking after you. Because when you have that strong sense of self, then you don't self-sabotage. You know that you're already worth it without having to plow into work and your daily routines and your health and well, you want to look after your health as well, but definitely not plowing into work. And I think that's where the message here is, because you're maybe trying to control your health with your rituals, where you're trying to maybe control things with work. Yeah, that's where I'd be seeing that there's maybe an imbalance here, Gemini. And it could be around your material security here. Yeah, there could be wounds from like finances, or there could be some beliefs that you've got over finances that are causing to these emotions that are making you want to get stuck in the busy work and wanting to get stuck in the daily stuff. And it's maybe about going back into solitude, seeing that there is a vision bigger than yourself. You might be a little bit more spiritual around this time. Okay, Gemini, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Gemini, we're starting off with the Page of Swords, and this is all about starting to get curious about things. Gemini, you're the most curious sign of the lot. When I see this one coming up, I think it's that you're taking the action, you're learning all the things. Are you maybe getting too focused on learning stuff in your daily work and routines to try and make things better? Yeah, where you're trying to look outside of you for the answer. And you're getting curious about all these little things to try and get that inner security here, by you're looking outside of yourself for it. When really, you've got the King of Pentacles. You need to build a stronger foundation within. He's not worried about what's going on right about him. He's fully abundant. He's got all the values he needs. He's got everything. He's not worried. He's got a strong foundation building beneath him. But the thing is, if you're too focused on the external here, looking for all the ideas and trying to learn everything, Gemini, then that inner world, there's no foundation. There could be self-worth problems. There could be self-sabotage. If that's not strong here, yeah? I think you need to find that connection, that harmony, that balance between the two. I think that's what the message is wanting you to really take away around this time. Remember, Uranus is in the mix, so there is things could bubble up here with Uranus. So there could be shocks, there could be surprises, there could also be breakthroughs. Yeah? The Lovers is a Gemini card. You're protected with the the angel here, yeah? So I think that is the message for you around this time, is to make sure you've got balance between your inner and outer world. Yeah? Because that will bring you to the King of Pentacles, where you will have that balance, that harmony, that unity between Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. We're starting off with the Moon. Where is it asking you to let go of, Cancer? It's in your 5th house. This is all the things you enjoy, your pleasure. Yeah? The hobbies you've got. Your kids could even come in here. I don't suggest letting go of kids. I don't think that's what the message is here. But there could be things there, there could be themes that are you may be trying to control or manipulate your children here. And I don't mean that as in like a negative, but you might be doing it out of wanting to be that overprotective mother for these kids. But it's actually it's a little bit more. You have to let go of that control a little bit and let them breathe maybe here. Also, the 5th house is your romance, your dating or your sex, yeah? Is there some things that you're maybe getting inner security from these things that are, you're looking at the more physical side, the more enjoyable side of these things to get that inner security here? There's maybe time to look at letting go of some of these things. And if you are like in a relationship, or if you're having romance with somebody, there's not a relationship, but you're doing it to get your own sense of self-worth, or that's you're trying to get your true self-expression through that way, then there's other ways, Cancer. Yeah, there's other ways. And that's what the sun is lighting up for you. It's lighting up your friends, your communities. It's lighting up your goals, your aspirations. The things that you should also be looking at here, Cancer. Yeah. Yes, we want to be there for our kids. But yes, you need time for you, where you can be with friends and you don't have to be the mother, where you can be with your communities and have more friends, where you can work on your own projects that lead to your goals and your desires and all these things, your bigger goals, your aspirations in life. You can work on that stuff rather than being stuck and trying to get all that validation from other people and your children and being overprotective in these areas. But your creativity and your passion could lead to you here being able to enjoy more friends, and it's maybe about letting go of things to allow you to see more of your friends, to allow you to be part of a community, to allow you to go after your goals and your aspirations for you, not for everybody else, Cancer. Yeah? I don't know, there might have been some wounds around you having to be the strong one, having to be the protector that you maybe need to look at and that you need to deal with around this time. But Cancer, you have got this. You have got this, Cancer. Yeah? And I think for you, it is about going out and, like, the sun is asking you to stand by your friends. Look for support there. Look for support. You don't have to do this all on your own. Whatever the situation is between children and that just now, you don't have to do it alone, or romance or dating or whatever it is. You've got people that care about you there. And you might see that a romantic venture has to come to an end. Romantic venture has to come to an end. You might see that. You might have to see that you have to loosen the grip and let your kids grow from the nest a little bit. There's a few wee things here at play, Cancer, but they're definitely, I think it's about making time for the things that you want, the things, your friends, your groups, your communities, your goals, your aspirations, making time for these things and getting your comfort and stability from these things, and not putting too much grip and holding on to the other things with, like, your kids, your romance, your dating, your creativity. Yeah. Okay, Cancer, let's see what the cards have got for you. What messages have got for Cancer? Okay, Cancer, we are starting off with the 10 swords. The 10 swords is at the end of the cycle, so that is a good thing. You are at the end of this cycle, whatever it has, you're at the end. And I would say around this time, this could be something like maybe it's you're getting to the end and you're starting to see that, yes, I do need to release the grip from children, or I maybe need to be less protective and let them get out and explore. Or it could be with the end of maybe like, I know the last wits here, I can't do this romance anymore because it's taking too much of me. Yeah, it's taking too much of me. I'm getting too much from this relationship, and I idealize that now. But, and it's, when it's these kind of relationships, it's more dating relationships than like the seventh house, which is more longer term, like one-to-one partnerships. Whereas this is more dates, more romance ventures, yeah, hookups and all that sort of stuff. And maybe it is you just like, I'm at the end of that. I can't deal with that anymore. I'm wanting something more serious here. But whatever it is, it might feel quite painful. Yeah, it might feel a little bit painful. But just remember, the sun will always shine. The sun always comes back up. Yeah. I think you're going to have to do a little bit of inner work here. Yeah, with the Hermit coming up next, which I like the Hermit. It's about going inside. It's about doing the introspection. It's about learning who you are at your core, building that sense of some stronger sense of self. Reflecting back as well, looking back at how things were. So you can get growth from in these areas. Yeah, he's wise. He's walked up the hill and now he's wanting to rest. You've done the work with this painful ending, Cancer. Now it's time for you to rest. And that once you've done all that letting go and that purging, then that might be what needs to happen next. You need to take that time for you, Cancer, and rest. Now, Cancer, there might be some things coming to light around this time, some secrets that are now becoming clearer. And the thing that I want you to remember with this card is all about your intuition too. It's all about trusting your gut. If you're like, and I think that this is maybe when you've done that soul searching, it's like, trust your gut. Yeah. If you are going for a new relationship, trust your gut. If you're having to let your kids go out a little bit and like be a little bit freer, trust your gut. If it doesn't feel good for whatever reason, look if this is why you're doing the soul searching first. Yeah. Because maybe it is you being overprotective here, Cancer. If it is with kids. Yeah. But trust your gut. There might be secrets around this time that have made it a little bit more painful. Whatever. Maybe you thought there was a romance coming and it's no longer the case because you've learned some new information. There was secrets maybe, or there was something uncovered. And it's telling you to trust your gut. Yeah, that is the final message there, Cancer. Trust your gut. But whatever it is around this time, there could be something that can cause a little bit of stress. Yeah, with the 10 swords. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, how are we? So Scorpio full moon for you is falling into your 4th house. The moon is asking you here, where are you retreating to home? Yeah? Where is there something at home that you need to let go of for this dynamic? Yeah? Where is there maybe power struggles, control at home? Now, the sun is asking to look at your career, your public recognition, the way you're projecting to the outside world, which makes me think, are you maybe controlling and manipulating and like molding yourself to fit in this home environment, or to keep things to keep things comfort and stable at home, which is stopping you put yourself out or showing up authentically outside? That's where the push and pull is going to come from here. Whereas when you actually show up authentically to the rest of the world as well, you can get more of that bigger breakthrough in that area. Yeah, that could lead to more finances. It can lead to better, like more career opportunities. It could lead to more recognition for the things that you do in the world. But if you're retreating and hiding in home where it's comfortable and stable, if you're trying to manipulate things to keep the comfort and stability there, and you're hiding yourself from the world, I think that's what it's asking you with this full moon is like, where can you show up more authentically to the outer world? Yeah, because you can get a lot of comfort and stability and pleasure when you start to put yourself out there, when you start to get recognized, when you focus on that career instead of hiding and keeping things private and like being vulnerable at home. Yeah, within. your shell, if you like. I think as well with Uranus in that 10th house for you, which is your career and your public recognition, Leo, is asking you to step out. It's asking you to go and things that maybe need to change in your career and public recognition. Just because you've done things so long where you've not had to maybe take a leading role, where you've just been able to plain sail to keep stability, where you could actually be holding yourself back from your bigger potential here, where there could be money, where there could be like more fame, more recognition in that area. But right now you're retreating, you're dimming your light, you're just keeping things lower to keep that as comfort and stability. It could be somebody at home, maybe even there's maybe a power struggle or a power dynamic that's making you play small and shrink. And that's maybe to have to let go of this. And it's never an easy decision when it's somebody in your family that you maybe need to let go of. Or when it's somebody in your home. Yeah? It's never an easy situation. But maybe there's something, it might not even be a person. Yeah, it could be a belief, it could be a perspective, it could be something. But whatever's stopping you showing up and putting your true, authentic self out into the world, the sun is asking you to do that right now. And not be controlled by staying hidden. So Leo, what would it look like? What would that look like? Is there a new job that you're maybe thinking of, but it's maybe scary? Are you want to start a business maybe, or you want to be the leader in your current career, but that's scary. And you're like, oh no, that seems outside my comfort zone. And growth comes when you step outside of that comfort zone, Leo. Yeah? You can't keep on retreating back home. You need to put yourself out there. And if you are living alone or that, and it is retreating back home because it's comfortable, because it's stable, you don't need to change things, then maybe that is the thing that would lead to more growth, lead to more money, and that sort of a thing in that area of your life. Whereas are growing in outward projection to the world. But I think there's maybe wounds here, maybe from the past, like with groups or with your relationships or your friends, that have maybe made you feel like you need to play small, that you need to hide, that you need to shrink instead of showing up fully. And I think your greatest breakthroughs will come when you start to show up fully. And the outer projection to the world, where you don't just hide away in the background or blend in. For you, Leo, you're the main character energy, but you have to be able to own that outer projection and not slip back in and try and hide yourself. If you're the main character, Leo, you have to be in the spotlight. And we know you're good at so many other things, Leo. There's so many gifts that you've got. You're a born leader. But if you're retrieving to keep things and keep peace and quiet, or controlling things at home to keep them the way you want them, instead of putting yourself out there to the world, then that's what I think this full moon is for you, is learning to harness that Leo power and not look for the validation at home. Know that you've got that. Know that you've got that inside, Leo. Okay, let's see, Leo. Let's see what we have for you. What do you need to know around this time? Leo, I think there is some truths coming to light here. I think you're starting to see things, and you're starting to see things that maybe once hidden. That is what the full moon is. Yeah, it starts to show you what's been dark. It starts to bring light to the dark. Secrets are coming here, and whatever they are, you're being encouraged to trust your gut. Yeah, you're being encouraged to trust your body. If something doesn't feel good, then it's time to do something about it. Yeah. And I think when you start to trust your gut, it's going to lead you to want to take that fast action, because you now have the clarity. You now have you know what needs to be done. And if you've been holding yourself back and burying yourself at home so you don't have to be out in the world being that leader, then that could feel scary. But then you maybe need to do the work to work on them wounds, or things that are making you, the visibility wounds that you've got. Yeah, that are making you want to retreat. Or maybe it's a belief that maybe you don't feel good enough to put yourself out. But Leo, remember, Leo's the best. Leo is the best. So trust your gut. I think that's going to, once you can learn to trust your gut and feel safe being seen, I think that will spur you into action. But that's only going to come when you do the inner work. Yeah? When you do the inner work. The Hermit is all about introspection here. The thing is, if you're being asked to trust your gut, yeah, or you've been trusting your gut and it's maybe not as strong as it needs to be, which has led you to take action and do things quickly, but you're being asked to reflect. Because when you reflect and you do the introspection, your gut becomes stronger. Yeah? Your gut becomes stronger. Now again, it's talking about your maybe when the, so again, we mentioned with the moon in your 4th house, it's like, what do you need to let go in that area? Well, if you don't do the inner work, you don't know, yeah? What you really need to let go of, beliefs, these sort of things. Or there's something that makes you self-sabotage. There's a wound or something around home here that is stopping you see your full potential, stopping you going and getting the clarity that you need and put yourself out into the world. Authentically you, the full version of you, Leo, not the watered down version. Yeah? What is that for you? I think once you do the soul searching, I'll pull another card just for you. You're getting to the end of a cycle, yeah? Whatever you're going through just now, Leo, is coming to the end, and that's once you do the work, once you do the inner work. It may be a little bit sore. It may be a little bit sore, Leo. Or it may be a little bit scary, yeah? It doesn't mean, like, again, letting go. It could be letting go of a belief, a behavior, a pattern. Not necessarily a person. It could be a person as well. Not necessarily, but it could be a belief, a pattern, or a behavior. When you let go of that, you end the cycle that you've been stuck in, the pattern. You break the pattern. And that, I think, is going to lead to the breakthroughs in your 10th house, in your career, your public recognition, Leo. So stop dimming your light, Leo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. Today we are moving into your 3rd house. That is where the moon is. This is asking you to look at the way you communicate. The way is looking at the way this sort of surface level learning. This is the kind of the theory bit, if you like, and then you get the wisdom from the 9th house. Yeah? Well, this time, the moon is here. There could be some things in this area. The way you communicate, the way you learn, the things you've learned. And it's maybe asking you now, well, it's time to go deeper. Your siblings and your close family and your extended family, they kind of come in here. Yeah? Not the close family, that's more your home, but like the extended family, your aunts, uncles, that sort of a thing. And then your siblings come in here. So I could be like looking at relationships there, looking at maybe wounds from there that are shaping the way you communicate, maybe where you're trying to control things here to keep that sense of inner security. Yeah? Maybe you feel like, oh, well, if I just know everything about everything, then if I just know everything about everything, then I can solve problems in all areas. Yeah? I can help more people because I know little bits of everything. Whereas it's more about this time with it, the sun being in your 9th house, which is all about them higher beliefs, the higher education, the going deeper, the spiritual beliefs, the cultural beliefs, that sort of a thing, is less about being stuck in the woods here and seeing the bigger picture. Yeah? When you stop, you let go of the behaviors and the patterns and the cycles and all that stuff that's keeping you trapped, having to know everything about everything. Yeah? And more like going deep and becoming really, really good at one thing maybe that makes you the best at it, that makes you want to start being the teacher, wants to like share your wisdom with the world, Virgo. Maybe start publishing. Maybe start putting, maybe if you've been thinking about a YouTube channel or an Instagram or something where you put your work out there, because you've done the body work, the surface level stuff now. But this full moon is wanting you to go deep and not trying to get stuck in learning more stuff. Or there could be things with siblings, though. There could be things with siblings. Now, for you, there could be things from friends even here that are creating. There's maybe if you feel rejected from friends, or if you feel like you're maybe a little bit more sensitive with your friends, that sort of a thing that have led, maybe there's patterns, stuff from the past, early childhood, that have shaped the way that you communicate with the world, the way that you learn things, that needs to end. Yeah, that makes you want to go that little bit deeper. Remember, you could have such a breakthrough right now with the sun and Uranus there. It's going to show you in that area where it needs to change. Where do you need to start going a little bit deeper, where you need to expand and open your horizons, Virgo, and not get stuck in the theory. Yeah? It's now, okay, we are starting to build wisdom now. I really like that for you, Virgo, because I think, Virgo, you want to be perfect, but you can't be perfect at everything. Whereas you can aim to go deep on one thing, become known for that one thing that you're really, really good at, instead of trying to know everything about everything so you can help everybody and be perfect at everything. Like, done is better than perfect. Yeah? You've done that. Now let's start to deepen it. Let's look and open your horizons. I see a mindset shift and things will coming from this transit with you. And I think with Uranus there, publishing is a really good time to be starting to think about putting content out. Especially if you're a coach and you're looking to grow your business as well, I would definitely think about content around this time with Uranus in that 9th house and the sun illuminating that. And maybe it is about letting go of the fears from the wounds from early childhood or whatever that has maybe made you stop feeling like you're able to do that, to have that wisdom, to broaden your horizons in this area. There could be some wounds from early childhood that are stopping that. Yeah? And that's maybe where you need to work on around this time, Virgo. Let's see what the cards say for you, Virgo. I do think, remember, Uranus is in that 9th house. Putting content out, sharing your wisdom around this time, Virgo, that's a good call. Virgo, you're starting off with a steady, strong foundation where you've got all the things around you that you need. Yeah? I don't know if you see it yet, but it is there. You've got all this stuff around you for what you need. And I think that's kind of what we were saying there when we were talking about, oh, you're maybe learning everything about everything. Yeah? And you've got this foundational knowledge where you know all that stuff. Yeah? You don't need to add more on. Now it's the Pentacles, which is more of the physical. But I think if you're in an area right now where you're quite steady, yeah, you feel quite grounded, you're feeling quite practical, you're open to receive, you're open to opportunities coming your way. I think that's where you need to lean for this. Being open to opportunities that can grow that abundance, making sure you've got this strong foundation, Virgo, which you have, I can imagine. But again, I think it's less about trying to learn everything about everything here, Virgo, and focus and build that strong foundation for that one thing. There may be some creative challenges here. Could be even disagreements, maybe with siblings. Yeah? Could be some things with siblings coming up here around this time. There might be some challenges where then maybe you are starting to put stuff out on content. Maybe you are starting to put yourself out there and someday close by, your extended family or your siblings, they're like, no, that's not you. There's maybe a little bit of a disagreement there. Or maybe they've not said anything and it's in your head, but it's making you dim and making you have to fight a little bit harder, Virgo. Or maybe there's some sort of a competition with this card coming up as well. Yeah, there's competition that you're having to feel that you're always trying to take up space. You're always trying to fight. You need to release the grip. You need to know that competition can be healthy. Yeah. I always say in business anyway, there's no such thing as competition. There's collaboration. Yeah. I love that mantra. We can all support and help each other. Then to finish off, we've got Knight of Wands. That's passionate. That's passionate energy. Going for what you really want. Again, whatever that is here with this, axis, where it's your third and ninth house, going after them higher beliefs, going deep, opening your horizons. There could be even travel here, going for it. Long distance travel, yeah, could be. It's taking an action here, Virgo. You need to make sure you're balanced between receiving and action. Yeah, make sure that that's balanced, because it can be very easy when you think, especially you're trying to embody the role to manifest the things you want. It can be very easy to sit in the receiving mode and forget the action. And maybe that's what's leading to these creative challenges, is you're sitting there waiting to receive. Yeah? And you're not receiving. You've got the foundation built. She's strong. She knows it is there. You've done all the being that needs to be done now. There's that creative challenges, but then what you really need to do is take the action. What you really need to do is go after the things you want. So Virgo, go for it. Go for the things you want. Don't just settle and don't just think that everything's okay. I'll just sit here and everything's going to come through me. Because you need the aligned action with that as well. So go for the things you want. Libra, Sun, Moon, Horizon, we are in your second house with the Moon. There is things in your daily finances, your material wealth, the things, your possessions. There is even your self-worth comes in here as well, that you need to let go of. The Moon is asking you to see these things and let go. Things that maybe weren't that clear at first are now starting to make more sense. Are you trying to do everything alone? Is there maybe this is your time to ask for support? Yeah? So these things are more balanced, Libra. You're not trying to do everything yourself here. The Sun is in your 8th house. That's your personal power, but it's also the things you share with other people, your deepest relationships, your money that you share with other people, the intimacy you share with other people. Yeah? When the Moon is in Scorpio, it's these places that are highlighting the Moon. Yeah? You're maybe just trying to do everything yourself. You're getting your worth from the stuff that you have around you. You can even be feeling a little bit of scarcity. If there's some money things going on right now, you could be feeling a little bit of scarcity, which is stopping you seeing all the other opportunities. Because you're so stuck, focused on this one thing, Libra, in your material world. But you don't have to do this all alone. You've got other people there that love and support you. And with Taurus, Uranus beside that as well, there's these chances of breakthroughs in that area. This could be with clients coming in. It's not just your love relationships, it's the deepest relationships, but it's where you share resources with other people. Yeah. If you have got a relationship, you're trying to control all the finances and stuff like that and trying to do all the things yourself instead of like leaning into the help and doing it as a partnership. Libra. That's where you're being asked to look at. Where you're trying to control the day-to-day and forgetting that you have got the support and all the love and all that from other people. Yeah. Where are you seeing scarcity rather than abundance? Or has the scarcity got so much grip and control that you're trying to do everything yourself here, Libra, instead of seeing that there's actually so much around about me because I've got all these people that I can reach out to that are there to help me? Or, like, maybe there's something around selling here. It's around putting out what you can do from the rest of the world that can help you bring money from other people. Yeah? Where you maybe need to look at the wins or where you're giving yourself your power away when you comes to putting yourself out there. Is there maybe are you scared to invest money because you're like, everything's so scarce right now, whereas investing could actually be a thing that could help you get the bigger growth and help you get the bigger transformation. And that might not be investing, it might just be investing in your growth, investing in your learning. It isn't in stocks or shares or anything like that. It just means you're not, like when you put investments in with your resources, with other people, where you work with somebody else that helps you get your growth in that area or helps you get more growth in your life because that will help you work through your traumas, it will help you work through your wounds that are holding you back. Then when you're investing in that way, that's going to bring bigger growth, bigger expansion. Yeah. That'll help the day-to-day finances and the day-to-day comfort and stability in the material world. Yeah. But if you're trying to get your inner security from the day to day and you're feeling scarce and you're feeling like you're feeling trapped in that area, you have to control and manipulate all the things there, then you're missing all these different other opportunities from the bigger picture. Yeah. Where you could invest in a coach, maybe a business coach if you've got a business. Investing in a coach there could lead to more growth, lead to more money from other people. Yeah. Lead to more money from clients. Like making sure that there's balance between their money and your money, bringing it together and working as a team. There could be seen things like that where there's that give and take. There's that giving and receiving. It's balanced. And know that you're doing all the work with the finances, Libra. It's about finding that balance between the stuff you're doing for yourself, the material values. And just remember that self-worth is there as well. So if you're trying to prove yourself here, Libra, with your material wealth and your possessions and all your values and all that stuff to get self-worth, and you feel like you feel weaker if you're asking people for help, then that could be something that could come up around this time. The wounds that maybe led you to believe that, or the patterns that maybe these are things you need to let go of around this time, Libra. Okay, Libra, let's see what cards we've got for you. Just remember that Uranus is in that 8th house. There is a chance of breakthroughs in that area. Yeah? You need to be open to opportunities in that area though as well, Libra. And I think this is why the moon is wanting you to see that. I'm getting the Wounded Warrior card. Libra, I think you've been coming in a time where you've been feeling a little bit battered and bruised. Yes? I feel like you've been trying to do everything. You've been carrying a load. You've been doing all these things and you're feeling a bit battered and bruised. The thing is, all the work you've been doing has built this foundation where you've been urged to see that foundation. Yeah? And she's not killing herself. She's not hustling to death. She's not trying to claim it. She knows. She's sitting there powerful, knowing that she's got the power. She's got everything she needs round about her. Yeah? She can see past material values as money. She can see that she's got her home, she's got her people, she's got her everything she needs. And she has got her point as well. Yeah? And it's maybe about stepping into that. Because when you're open to receiving from that energy, more abundance can come in. And I think you're already stuck in the hustle because you've got another queen urging you to, look, you don't need to push yourself that hard. Yeah? You're pushing yourself into the Wounded Warrior. You don't need to do that. You need to be more open to things coming your way. You need to be more open to receiving. Is there wounds around receiving here, Libra? That's what I'm getting. This is the clarity. I think you're going to start to see clarity, but it's not going to come from you doing more. Yeah? It's going to come from you being open to receiving. When you're not stuck in the, I need to do X, Y, Z, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, well, all these things. It's going to come in when you're able to let it come in. We're able to see more opportunities because your brain's not going 100 miles an hour, Libra. Yeah? I think you need to make sure there's balance in your life, Libra, between letting other people support you, and being less hustle, being less stuck in the woods, being less in your head. Yeah? Be more creative. Yeah? Building that strong foundation. The foundation, like if you look at all the things you've got in your current reality, Libra, yeah, don't just see the material stuff. See the other stuff. See everything. Not just the stuff that's you think that's round about you. Don't get your worth from material possessions. You've got this, Libra. Whatever you're working on, it's time to be more open to things coming your way. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. And we're in your first house. The moon is there. This is looking about your inner security with yourself. Yeah? Your physical self. Your outward projection of yourself. Your personality. These sort of things. There might be some things there that is making you to feel safe and secure, that you're controlling things. You're maybe manipulating things. There's maybe power struggles. Yeah? Now, the sun is asking you to look at your relationships. It's lighting up from your relationships, which is projecting onto you. standing for your relationships and not being so self, like not just doing things for yourself here. Yeah. Not just molding yourself to fit the relationship either, to keep the comfort and the stability in the relationship. Your comfort and stability comes when it's balanced, when there's not that push and pull between wanting to control and manipulate things to keep the comfort and stability. You don't have to do that. There doesn't need to be power struggles. You need to find the balance between the two. And this could be that at this time, maybe there is a relationship. Maybe there is something that you are doing that is making this relationship need attention right now. And again, this doesn't always mean love relationships. It could be business relationships or all these other things. But are you projecting something because you are feeling, or are you mirroring something back to these people that is creating tension? Because that is another thing that Scorpio are famous for, yeah? What are you projecting out there as well? But is it maybe looking inwards here, I think, is the message for you, Scorpio. The thing is, with Taurus in your 7th house, it's all about breakthroughs. It's all about, there could be surprises, there could be some shocks. But I always say with Uranus, it's for the bigger picture, the greater goods. Yeah? If that relationship doesn't serve you, then maybe it is time to let it go. Because it's going to allow space for something new to come in. But that's you that needs to see, is this a pattern? Is there a relationship pattern here? Am I trying to control things to keep my internal security, to feel safe? Am I using this relationship to feel safe? Or am I being too self-sufficient and not giving enough time to the relationship? There's an imbalance between the relationship and yourself here. But I would say that there's definitely a breakthrough in this, in your relationships to come with Uranus. I'm sure if you look at the relationships you had 7 years ago, they would be totally different from the relationships you've got now. And that's Uranus going through there, making changes. Yes, sometimes Uranus can be really, really subtle, but other times Uranus can be rather blunt. And it can feel horrendous at the time. But I think it's usually for that breakthrough in the relationship. And again, it doesn't always mean love. It could be any kind of relationship here. But I think this is where you have to look inwards in this one. Yeah? Because it's the emotions are bubbling up from you. There. And again, I would look at where you're controlling things, where you're manipulating things with this one, Scorpio. And if people do need to be cut out, then it's your time to actually cut these people out so that you're maybe not holding on to your own security. You're not gripping onto things internally. And maybe there is that power struggles, is the relationship trying to control you. And that's why you're feeling these emotions of resentment and anxiety and all that building up. There's definitely an imbalance between relationships here if you're feeling this around this time. And like I said at the start of the video, Scorpio, you are more than likely going to feel this one because it's in your rising sign. Yeah? I don't know if there's maybe some things about beliefs that you've had that you've got around life. And it's maybe like your wisdom, your inner wisdom, that's maybe creating these behaviors. These could be beliefs that have been passed on to you. Cultural beliefs, religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs that are making you sort of have this need to grip to yourself for security. Whereas when you loosen that grip and you work with the relationship, and it's a 50-50 balance here, then that's when you can start to work together. And it's not about people pleasing. It's not about any of that stuff, Scorpio. It's not about trying to give away your power. It's about balance here between the two. The light and the dark. The dark has been the dark has been shown to you right now. There could be secrets around this time that you need to look at as well. They might come to the surface so that you can see what needs to be done in your relationships, because the relationships are lit up right now. let's see what the cards say for you, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, so we're getting the 10 cups. This is total emotional fulfillment. Yeah. After what I've just said, you're in a place right now where you're feeling like everything's good. But is that maybe because it feels comfortable? It feels stable. It feels long term. It feels secure. Is that maybe because you've been seeing things that you've been maybe the control is all on your relationships right now? They're looking after you. They're keeping you feeling this emotional fulfillment. But you're like, this is good. But this is maybe telling you need to balance that a little bit to keep this good thing that you've got going. If that is the case, you've also got the leap of faith. I think there's some sort of a fear here, Scorpio, that is, I don't think there's a problem so much with a relationship when I see this. Because I think it's just that you're maybe dimming yourself or you're molding yourself for a relationship, which the problems haven't surfaced yet. And it's more about, if you want to keep this, you need to take the leap of faith and start stepping out and being independent as well, Scorpio. Which I think you would do. I think Scorpio would do that. But there's something that you've been in this place where things are emotionally good. Things are stable, even. And there's something that you need to be brave. There's a new beginning. There's a stepping out. You've also got the Hierophant, which is that traditional beliefs. Which is why I was saying originally, are you maybe getting too much from the relationship? It's not necessarily in a rocky place, but you're maybe getting too much from it. And there needs to be more balance, more bravery from you, more independence from you. But there's a spiritual belief, or there's a higher belief, or a cultural belief of some description that's shaped this sort of dynamic. And it's that belief that you need to work on here around this time, where you need to be brave, where you need to find that balance between the two. And again, every Scorpio is different. And if this message doesn't resonate with you, you can take the themes from what we were talking about around this time, Scorpio. But I think there's something that's really, really emotionally fulfilling. Now, with that, there's something new as well. Is that you need to let go of that emotional fulfillment to actually be independent and to find that inner security. You need to loosen the grip here. Yeah? I would say trust your gut. I'd maybe say seek guidance here. Maybe spiritual guidance, maybe a coach, maybe a mentor, maybe something around this type with whatever's going on here. But this, I find it hard when that one come up first, yeah, to say, because that, like, you're totally emotionally, and it's maybe, I think you're holding on to it too tightly. You're holding on to this good feeling too tightly, when really you need to take it. You need to be brave to do it alone. Does that mean you have to let go? Maybe not. Maybe it's just the perspective. Maybe it's about finding that internal security on your own. Taking the leap of faith to do it on your own. Could be it's time to go. Yeah, it was maybe emotionally fulfilling at one point. Maybe that's no longer the case. Now it's time to jump ship. You might need to look for wisdom. Maybe looking into your spiritual beliefs, your cultural beliefs. Maybe a mentor around this time, a therapist or something. I don't know. Some sort of a higher, smart, wisdom character. Maybe you're that character. Maybe you need to, is it a relationship right now? Another thing that I'm just thinking here, Scorpio, is that maybe you are emotionally in a good place with a relationship just now, but maybe you're just not brave enough to do things on your own. Like, is there maybe something you've been wanting to do, and this relationship feels so comfortable, so secure, and so everything else, that you're getting everything that you need, but you're not feeling brave enough to do what you want to do. And maybe it's like around starting a business or something. Maybe it's around you being the wisdom, you being the character that puts himself out, maybe a coaching business or something. That you just get everything from this relationship that you don't feel like you can do it. You don't feel like you can become the main character. That could be something else as well with this reading. but it's emotionally good. So it's not like you have to leave the relationship. Maybe you do for you to see the security, but I don't think it's that you need to leave this relationship or whatever is emotionally fulfilling. I don't think you need to leave that. I think it's about being brave enough to do this alone, being brave enough to take that leap of faith, being brave enough to be the main character who's got their followers and got all that stuff. That could be another interpretation. Scorpio, you've got everything that you need inside you, yeah? Whatever these emotions are, is it maybe resentment because you're not brave enough to take that leap yourself? You're too busy holding on to the security. Sometimes you need to take risks, yeah? What are you? The moon shows you what you need to let go of, those Scorpio, and it's something around something that you've got, and I would think it's maybe some beliefs, traditional beliefs or something that have shaped you in relationships, that there's something there you maybe need to let go of. But Scorpio, be brave and go after what you really want here. Yeah, the relationship might be brilliant, yeah, but if it's stopping you get to that final goal, then you work together and you do it together, but you need to take that leap of faith. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading for you. The Moon is in your 12th house. This is going to be showing you what you need to let go of in that area, which is all about the hidden house. It's the connection to you, to the something bigger than yourself. Yeah? It's the self-worth is where you self-sabotage. Can be your dreams as well. It's where you go for solitude. It's where you hide things from the world, your secrets, that sort of a thing. Things that the outside world can't see. You might even struggle to see it yourself, Sagittarius, because it is such a deep place. And when it's there, the full moon's there and your emotions are there, the sun is in your 6th house, your daily work and routines and your health, your pets. The sun is lighting up that area. Which makes me think with around these two areas, there's an imbalance between maybe going inwards. Yeah, you're maybe leaning, trying to control things, staying where it's comfortable, rather than putting yourself out there for work. Maybe you have to focus on the external side of things here, where you need to look at your relationship with your mental health and your physical health. Yeah? There's some sort of an imbalance here, Sagittarius. This could also be like maybe you are trying to be too free-spirited here. You're trying to do everything alone, hiding yourself away from the world. Yeah? You're hiding your emotions. You're not dealing with your emotions here, Sagittarius. But what happens there is they bubble up. Is eventually the resentment bubbles up, the anxiety will bubble up, it'll all start to bubble up. Because you've tried to hide them. Because you've tried to stop letting the world see them. Yeah, you've even maybe stopped yourself at this point feeling them because they're so deep down. These things might bubble up around this surface. Now, the sun is highlighting that daily work and routines area, which is saying, is that maybe where the problem is? There's an imbalance between the two. Yeah? You're not dealing with your emotions, you're plowing into work. You're trying to help everybody, but you're not helping yourself. You're trying to get your validation from the outside instead of looking inwards. What is that imbalance here, Sagittarius? The thing is, in your daily work and routines, the way you serve the world, your health, you've got the Uranus there asking you to break free. Yeah? To be that little bit rebellious here. But is there a fear in this hidden house that's been repressed, that's controlling the show? It's stopping you showing up. It's stopping you serving the world the way you're meant to. For you allow you to have that bigger breakthrough with your daily work and routines, your health. Is there something in your mental health that is running the show a little bit? You're maybe holding on to control here, where when you lean in here, it brings more comfort and stability. Yeah? When you learn to get that balanced between the two areas. I get the feeling, Sagittarius, there might be a relationship or something from the past that has left you feeling like that you've maybe not dealt with the wounds of it. Yeah? There's maybe a relationship or there's money stuff. There's beliefs that you've got around money that are wounds around money, or a relationship that you've buried deep that you've not dealt with. And when it starts to raise its head, you're batting it back down instead of letting it go. And that could start to bubble up around this thing to get you to let it go. Yeah? The thing is, when you don't deal with these things, that's when it leads to self-sabotage. That's when it leads to you having to go outside for your self-worth. So around this time, watch for any emotions that are bubbling up that are from old wounds that you've buried deep around this time, Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what the cards say for you. Sagittarius, you're in a place right now where I get the feeling you're trapping yourself here. Whatever's going on in your life just now, there's a situation where you're feeling like, why is this happening to me? That kind of a mentality here. But the thing is, when you've got that, these things are not, you can let them have that effect on you where you feel like, why is it happening to me? Or you could reframe it to like, why, or this is happening for me. Yeah, this is happening for me. You could have that. So if it's happening for you, then you need to release yourself. You need to untrap yourself. You untrap the mind. But I think you're getting stuck in your head here. You're getting stuck in your head with something that's keeping you trapped. Whereas when you let go of that, you release yourself. You've got the power to do that, Sagittarius. You've got the power to let go of wherever you're getting stuck in your head. I'm not saying it's easy, yeah? But the first thing is to think, I have got the power to let go of this. This is not happening to me anymore. This is happening for me to let go of this so I can move on. And I think as a Sagittarius, you can detach, yeah? You've got the power inside you to detach from things that no longer serve you. But this is, I think, something deep-rooted. There's something deep-rooted that is trapping you, where you need to get the awareness of it so you can free yourself. Remember, it's happened for you, not to you. And I don't know what the wounds is, yeah? Whatever it is, it might have happened to you, but you can use it for you to untrap yourself and get all the things you do desire. I think whatever it is, Sagittarius, there's something where the foundations are crumbling. They're starting to show there's signs that you're not dealt with whatever this is that's keeping you trapped. And that may not show yet, but there could be something coming that makes it feel a little bit chaotic. Things could maybe feel a little bit unpredictable around this time. And it's because there's no foundation there. You've not let go. You've let things get in the better of you, Sagittarius. And now it's starting to show. The cracks are starting to show. The foundations are starting to crumble. Things are falling around about you. Yeah? But you're being encouraged here, Sagittarius, to go inwards. You're being encouraged to go inwards here, Sagittarius, and do the inner work and do the reflection. And I think after the tower, I think where you have that tower moment, where everything feels chaotic, where everything feels mental, you probably do want to go into yourself a little bit. You want to go, I need to retreat. And I think that's a good thing. Taking that time for yourself, Sagittarius, to do the inner work. And if you take anything from this message, I would start there. Because it might lessen this if it's not happened yet. Yeah? But the tower card is usually what coming where it's that little bit, where things feel a little bit chaotic. There's that crumbling foundations. Something's been pulled away from you. And I think it's whatever you're getting stuck in your head with, Sagittarius, is trapping you. You feel powerless. The full moon in Scorpio is about claiming your power, about taking your power back, getting that inner security from the inside. Yeah? And whatever this is, I think doing the inner work is going to definitely make it feel a little bit there. Whatever this is going on just now. And just remember, again, this is another time where a lot of people may think, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? But it's not. It's happening for you. Yeah? It's happening for you to have that bigger breakthrough. It's happening for you so that you go in and do the inner work, Sagittarius. So you can get the bigger bits of growth from all of this situation. So you can move on to that and break the cycle and break the patterns. That's why it's happening for you, not to you. You've got this, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Horizon. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. And for you, the moon is in your 11th house. This is your friends. This is your groups. This is your the causes you stand for, the goals and the aspirations you have in your life. And when it's there, that's asking you, what do you need to let go of? We're at a full moon here. Is what you need to let go of in that area. Is there a friend? Is there a groups of people that you are around that are just draining your energy? Is there a community where you maybe been given too much of your power to? Is there friends that you're giving too much of your power to? Or are you maybe needing to refine your goals or your aspirations? Or maybe it's time that you let go of that goal because it doesn't serve you anymore. You need to work on something else. Maybe there's a social network that you've been putting too much time into and it's just draining things. It's taking away your power. You're getting stuck in your head with the algorithm. I don't know, but there's these things that you could potentially need to let go of when it comes to your social networks. Then on the other side, you've got the sun lighting up that 5th house. Yeah? Capricorn. Capricorn, your 5th house is all about your creativity, your passions, the things you enjoy, your kids, romance, sex, dating. These sort of things come in that 5th house. And I think when it's lighting that area up, there's comfort there. You can get comfort and stability from here. Yeah? But there's maybe something where you're trying to control or manipulate something in that groups or you're giving away your power to groups, or you're getting your inner security from your friends rather than having your own. You're maybe looking outside for validation and your achievements and your goals, and you're going after these goals to make you look like you're the strong, powerful leader, Capricorn. But really, you need to look after the other things as well, because that's where you're going to have fun. So you're going to have joy. You can be creative. And when you do all these things and you're creative and you've got passions and all these other things as well, instead of trying to get the outer achievements with your friends, the goals, the people you stand for, that's when you start to get that balance between the comfort and the stability. But when you're pleasing all your inner security on the external things, where you could be looking inwards, where you could be relaxing, having some fun, doing the inner, like being. I think when you get stuck in that hustle, Capricorn, trying to do all the things, yeah? Trying to be the best friend, trying to be there for your community, trying to do all the social media stuff, trying to reach for all the goals. When at the bottom here, you've got this area that you just need time to be, because that lets more opportunities come in. That lets more opportunities for comfort, more opportunities for that pleasurable side of things. Yeah? But if you focus there's a clear imbalance there, and that's where you need to work on. There might be some wounds, Capricorn, around relationships, which is making you avoid that and stay with your friends. It's making you stay with your friends, your communities, and that sort of a thing around this time. If there's maybe some wounds around relationships that are maybe stopping you wanting that romance right now, maybe that's something you need to work on around this time. Maybe there's some things like that maybe that resentment will boil up at this time, but it's time to actually let go of these wounds. Yeah. But Capricorn, trying to be the person for everybody else, you need to be for yourself, and that includes having fun. That includes being creative. That includes doing the things that bring you joy, not just doing what everybody else wants you to do. Yeah? To keep the peace. Sometimes you need to stand up and say, no, I want to take time to do this because this is something I really enjoy. I want to take the time to work on this creative project because that is something that lights me up. And you can find balance between the two here. And if people don't like that, they're not your people, Capricorn. And that's the hard bit of this, is they might just not be your people. And that is when you might have to let go of people, or let go of communities, or let go of goals even. If the goals are just like, I've been at this for so long and it's just draining my energy now rather than lighting me up. But you need to go back to the things that are lighting you up around this time. And the thing is, you've got a chance of breakthroughs. That could be this loving relationship coming in, and you're getting romance and passion. Could be that you're building a stronger foundation with your kids. Yeah, if you've been too far out, trying to do all the achievements, thinking you're doing all this for their good, but then the relationship, that fun, that nice, warm relationship with your kids isn't as strong as it was because you're spending too much time trying to hit these goals and all these other things, Capricorn. Whereas now, so we're bringing that balance back and having fun with your kids and spending time with them. That's where you're being asked to find the balance here and to let go of things that allow you to find that joy again, Capricorn. Let's see what the message is for you, Capricorn. Like I said, there is a chance of breakthroughs in that area, that joy area. When it comes to that fifth house, romance, dating, maybe it is time. Maybe it is time. There is that chance of breakthroughs there for you. Maybe it's time to put yourself back out there. Instead of gripping tightly to your friends and your communities and your aspirations and your goals, maybe it's time to look for love. Maybe it's time to find joy in that area. Okay, let's see what the message is. Capricorn, you're at a time, you're at the end of this cycle, right? But you're feeling a bit bruised, you're feeling a bit battered, you're feeling a bit like there's a burden of some description. This is something that you've maybe been working at for a long time. Something that maybe did like you at one time, but you're now at this point and you're just like, this is just a burden in my life. I'm going to say that this is a friend, this is a community, this is a goal or a desire that's just got hit its expiry date. I'm going to say it's that because this is you carrying that load. You're feeling like you've hit the end of the line. Yeah? You're feeling like there's a burden. You're carrying too much. You need to lighten that load a little bit here. Again, with the moon in that area of your life, I'd look in these areas to see what you need to let go of. I don't think you've been open to receive, Capricorn. I think you've just been doing all the busy work. There's that imbalance here. You need more balance in your life between the giving and the receiving. What are you getting out of things here? Are you getting the joy out of things, like we were saying? Are you getting the time for you to have with your kids? Are you getting the time for you to be able to have that loving relationship, or to start having the romantic relationships again if you've maybe been off it for a while and it's coming back now? Yeah? But if you're always stuck here carrying everybody else's shit, then there's that imbalance because it's not balanced. And that's what you need to find around this time, Capricorn. You've got all the pentacles, you've got all the coins, you've got everything, you've got all the material shit you need. Yeah? You've got all of that you need on the other end of this. This is like coming full circle when you find that balance. You've got generation, you've got legacy, you've got all that stuff when you can find the balance between the two. Where you're not doing all the shit for everybody else, you've got that balance. You've got the joy, you're abundant. You've got it, it's there. Yeah? You need to find that balance between these two areas where you can have that joy in that time for you to be creative and have all the things you want, the things you desire. Yeah? Where you're not getting stuck in the busy work, where you're not getting stuck in reaching like social media or whatever it is, or you're trying to be all the things for your friends and you're carrying all their baggage, but you're not actually getting time to be for yourself. Yeah. So I think for you, Capricorn, it's about making time for the things that really light you up during this time, and it's letting go of the things that don't allow that to happen. Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading, and for you, the full moon is going to be asking you what you need to let go of in your 10th house, which is your public career, your public recognition, your career, how people see you as an authority figure. So it could be some things here, like look at places where you're maybe holding on to control, you're maybe manipulating things to get the outcomes that you want in this area. Now, it does mean that the fourth house has been highlighted as well. Yeah. Now, the fourth house is home and family. And then when it's reflecting onto the 10th house, I would say that that's maybe more, not maybe so much home and family, but the other thing the fourth house is all about is your inner security. Your inner security is your private life. Yeah. With that, I would say, are you maybe not putting yourself out there in your career? Is there maybe visibility wounding going on that is stopping you showing up fully in your public, in your career? Are you maybe getting stuck in the busy work and that you can't actually get into the CEO role, if you like? With the fourth house as well, there's a chance for breakthroughs in that area because you've got Uranus there. And there could be stuff going on. And like the thing is with Taurus in there, you're looking for that comfort, the stability, the pleasure from the home. Does that maybe mean that it's easier sometimes that you like doing stuff at the career where you're kind of like, you don't have the stress of family or home or all that stuff going on there? There could be a work-life imbalance at the moment, yeah? Which is like, you can control that. You can do that stuff out there in your career where you're the leader, yeah? Or where you're the place where you're known for things. Your outward projection, you can be seen. You are known as that leader. But in the home, there's maybe some things that need to change. It's maybe you're just doing things there for convenience, to keep things comfortable. Although I do think when it is the moon, your emotions are coming from your career and public recognition just now. I do think that there is some sort of a visibility wound. Maybe something at home is making you shrink, making you not show up as your authentic self. There's maybe some things in your career that are going to get brought to light, something that you've maybe kept buried. You maybe need to be a little bit more vulnerable there, Aquarius, to maybe get the full recognition that you deserve, instead of trying to hold on to the control of what everybody can see from you. You need to be a little bit more, okay, I need to let the walls down a little bit. You show a little bit more, be a little bit more vulnerable, and show up more authentically there so that you can get what you desire from that area. Instead of hiding away, instead of staying maybe more home, maybe more of a home bird, Aquarius. You may be like, wherever you're shrinking, yeah, whatever's making you shrink. There could be things at home that are making you shrink, but I don't think so. The sun's there, it's lighting up. It could be highlighting some things that need to change there. Maybe there'll be something maybe there's something around your career that you're trying to control just a little bit too much, Aquarius. Where you need to now think, right, it's time to let that go. That isn't serving me. You might see things starting to come to light in your career and public recognition, whether you maybe never seen before. They were hidden before, but now they're there for you to be able to change the situation, to let it go. I do think if you feel any resentment, if you feel any control, manipulation in your career and public recognition, it's a good thing to maybe look at why they are there in the first place so you can move them. How you maybe considering moving around this time? Is that why you maybe need to let go of things at work to allow that breakthrough to happen? Do you need to maybe think about working online and putting yourself out there as a personal brand and building your personal brand so that people can see you? So your job's more flexible so that if you are thinking about moving around this time, then, or maybe that is what you've been thinking about. You're thinking about moving. You've been maybe thinking about moving somewhere in your career and public recognition, the thing that you need to change, but you're holding on to it because it's maybe good. It's like keeping you comfortable and stable in your home and family. But there could be something, a change or a shake-up happening at home that is mean that you need to either get a promotion, start your own business, be more flexible with your career, and it's just that little bit. You're not quite there yet. There's still stuff going on. This could be like, I can't remember if I said this, but you could, if you're shrinking yourself in your career and public recognition, so you're not showing up fully, not showing up authentic, you're hiding bits of yourself to try and hold on to power there. And this is just personal power, but holding on to power there. And maybe it's about fixing these visibility wounds so you can get more comfort and stability without having to hold and grip things. That doesn't mean you have to burn it to the ground either, because I can know Scorpio in that placement, they might want to burn things to the ground and start again. But this isn't what that is about. This is about looking at where your emotions are making you want to hold on, making you want to grip at your at your career, your public recognition. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what the cards have to say for you. If there is anything going on with at home with Uranus, like, just remember these shocks, surprises, breakthroughs, whatever they are, work with it. Don't let it use you. Do the inner work. Let go of what needs to be let go of. The thing about Scorpio is all about purging, shadow work, that sort of a thing. Okay, Aquarius, we've got the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is curious. It's that newness to it. You're learning the ropes here, yeah? Something that's starting to line up, starting to fill your cup a little bit. There's something that you're curious about. With the next one is the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah? This career. New work, new career, new finances, new money. There is things, I think, I'm going to stick with what I was saying. I think this is visibility wounding. You're retreating into your shell. You're going private rather than putting yourself out there. Yeah? Or maybe you're testing the waters. You're thinking, okay, I'll maybe try this. I'll put this little bit out here. You're dipping your toes in a little bit with this one coming on first. And when you dip your toes in, that's when the new beginning starts to happen. You start to get more opportunities. You start to see new things that you never seen before. But you need to be curious here, Aquarius. The thing is, once that new beginning comes in, look, you've got a Knight of Wands. Passionate action, aligned action, taking the action that moves you forward, not keeps you stuck. I think you've got the Ace of Pentacles coming up there as well. That's the biggest coin in the deck. Yeah? There's a good chance of new money here. Whatever you're thinking, whether it's a new job, new career, new business, you're curious. That's what you need to do. You need to embrace that. And I don't know if you've maybe been thinking about it, thinking about something that's starting to just give you that little bit of passion, but it needs you to put yourself out there, and it's kind of just dipping your toes in at the moment. Which leads to this new beginning. It's going to make you want to take the action, Aquarius. I think as well, when we are talking about home and family and stuff, this Page of Cups, that could be somebody offering you something. Yeah? Offering you a gift, offering you something that's light, kind. Which is, because pages are messengers as well. Mercury is in Taurus in your 4th house. Will he be in Gemini by then? No, I don't think so. He's in Taurus. He's going to make a square to Pluto, but then he's going to make a square to Mars after the full moon. I think at first you're going to be like, oh, I'm not sure about that. That's making me a little bit uncomfortable. There's a little bit of tension there with whatever you're learning about the actions that you need to take. But stay curious, because it will lead to that your beginning. And then that should help you spring into action, Aquarius. Aquarius, let you know what you've gone down in. Let me know what you've got going on down in the comments. Hello, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your full Moon in Scorpio reading. And for you, we're going into your 9th house, which is all about that higher education. Yeah? Higher beliefs, that looking for meaning. Spiritual beliefs, cultural beliefs. Publishing even. Starting to be the teacher here, Pisces. That's where the moon is. There's something in that area that you need to let go of something. So that's maybe a social media platform that's not working for you. Are you trying to be everywhere instead of going deep? Is there maybe something that you've learned that you've not went fully into? that you've not tried to bring your own wisdom. You're maybe just taking taking the theory rather than applying the life to it. Maybe it's something, a belief that you've got around this time that is no longer serving you. A cultural belief, a spiritual belief, religious belief. Maybe have you got a fear of flying? You're scared of travel? That could also be in with the 9th house. I think there'll be other signals in that, but then just going for that, Pisces. Now the sun is going to be lighting up your 3rd house, which shines onto your 9th house. So with that, that's like lighting up the area that's to do with communication. That's to do with the way you learn things. It's to do with your siblings, your extended family, aunts and uncles and that sort of a thing. Cousins. They come under that bit as well. When you've got that lighting up there, could also be short-term travel. I think is there maybe something there that is not lining up with your higher beliefs, or that's making you question your higher beliefs, but you're staying with it because it's comfortable and it's secure and it's long-term. Whereas you're maybe controlling and manipulating things in your higher beliefs to keep the peace in your community, your local community, your closest circle. Or maybe you've learned something some way, but you're like, actually, that might not be the right way, actually. Now that I look at it and I see the bigger picture, there's a little bit of, I'm not seeing this the way I used to see it. Yeah. Maybe your family want you to go on holiday and you're too scared to fly. And there's a fear there that we need to deal with. The 9th house is also, it could be around putting yourself out there. Yeah? Is there wounds about putting yourself out there? Is there wounds about you stepping into being the teacher? Maybe your family's pushing you right now that, oh, you should be doing this. You should be making a go at this. Your brothers, your siblings, your extended aunts and uncles and all that stuff. Your local community, the people, neighbours, that sort of a thing. Maybe they're pushing you to actually, do you know what? You'd be really good at that, Pisces. And it feels a little bit scary. You need to let go of that fear. Or maybe you've got a belief. Maybe you think like, maybe is it a belief that you're like, oh, I'd be a really good teacher, but I don't want to start an online course or start an online coaching business? Is there beliefs there? You're maybe holding yourself back there. I think for you, Pisces, around this time is about a mindset shift. It's about having that mind shift. It's about having that mindset shift. It's about staying open-minded. And if there is limiting beliefs there, or spiritual beliefs, or cultural beliefs, or religious beliefs, it's maybe looking at widening your horizons, Pisces, around this time, and holding back the ones that are actually keeping you small. They're actually stopping you wanting to publish. They're actually wanting to stopping you wanting to go for a long distance travel because maybe you're scared of flying or whatever it is. But I think there's things there that need to be let go of. Maybe in early education, were you told that you have maybe wounds around early education, where you were maybe people didn't believe in you, and now you've got these beliefs, but you're maybe wearing them like a bit of a badge of honor. To sort of like prove people wrong. Whereas that doesn't serve you. Yeah. Because you should be using these beliefs for your own good, not for other people. For you, Pisces, around this time, I think it's about staying open-minded. Don't let things limit your beliefs. Stay open-minded. Keeping curious, testing things, learning things, communicating. Maybe at a lower level first and then growing out into that 9th house. But stay open-minded, stay open to opportunities. Let's see what the cards have to say, Pisces. Pisces, we're starting off with the Hermit card. This is all about going inwards. This is about doing the introspection. This is about looking at the things that are, learning who you are, yeah? Looking at the things that you believe in and letting go of what doesn't serve you. Yeah? Doing that inner work. I think when it's in the ninth house, this is very fitting. There's maybe things that in fact, looking at this, there are definitely things that have maybe been taking their toll on you. And it could be down to your beliefs, but you need to look in and make sure you're doing that inner work to work with your shadow in that area. If you're trying to control or manipulate things to get the things that you want, or to have that emotional security, there may be some secrets in this area coming up as well around this time. Maybe from teachers, maybe from even like religious figures. There could be things around that here, spiritual figures. But you have to do the inner work, yeah? Do the inner work around this thing. Do the shadow work. Like the Hermit, he's walked up that hill and then he's sitting there resting. You need to take that bit of a backseat, Pisces. Here you are again. Yeah? 4 swords. Give your mind a rest. Mental rest. Take some time out. Put your swords down. Rest. Maybe you've been pushing with your publishing. Pushing on social media. And you're maybe just at that point now where you're like, I just can't push any longer. I'm done. Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe don't be done and just maybe like learn what's holding you back and do the inner work. Work with your shadow here and have that little bit of a rest. Now, with Uranus in the mix, there is the Tower card. And I want you to remember, the Tower card is not happening to you, okay? It's happening for you. But this is uncomfortable. So it can be unpredictable. It can be a little bit chaotic. It's the shocks. It's the surprises. It does link with Uranus very well. Now, Uranus is in your 3rd house of Taurus. It's at the end of its transit through there as well, Pisces. It wants change. There's a wounds around early education, Pisces. Your school days. These are wounds there that you're maybe holding on to. They could be bubbling up. It's making you want to control your beliefs in your 9th house. Your spiritual beliefs, your cultural beliefs, your higher education, the deeper meaning stuff. Yeah? Or you may be looking at early childhood and being like, oh, well, it can't be, you're being closed-minded with something because it can't be better than that because this is what happened to me around this time. But whatever it is, there's a chance of a breakthrough in that communication area of your house, the learning area of your house. You need to be aware of, because the Tower card, I'm going to pull you another card. I'll not leave it at that. The Emperor. Okay. The Emperor. I don't know, Pisces. What I'm a bit confused here because I don't know if this is the person that has created the Tower. Yeah, there's been communication from this person who's fiery. Yeah, Aries energy. I don't know if this is the person or if that's your approach. Yeah, you need to be the leader here. You need to be the one in control. Usually full moons are about you letting go of control. But whatever this situation is now, it's maybe at that stage where you need to stand your ground. You need to be strong, you need to be fair, you need to be a leader. Fiery energy, yeah? But he's not rushing anywhere. Look at that. He's pretty chilled there sitting in his chair. Yeah, Mars is around. There is a little bit of tension between Mercury and Mars after the full moon. There's a little bit of tension between Mercury and Pluto before the full moon. Pluto's in your 1st house, your 12th house. That's your hidden. That's your wounds. That's your fears. Mars is in your 6th house. That's your daily work and routines, Pisces. Is it a figure at work, an authority figure at work that's making you dim your light? That's making you, or is there something in your daily work and routines that there's maybe somebody that's controlling the beliefs that you've got? Whatever situation you're going on just now, I get the feeling you're like the bit of the wounded warrior. You're battered and bruised a little bit, Pisces. You maybe went through the ringer, but Lead with love here. Yeah? With whatever this is. If this is a sibling, somebody in your local community, a neighbor, an extended family, whatever it is, yeah. The best approach is to make sure that you're being true to yourself. Yeah? Be true to yourself, be compassionate, and lead with love here.